Hey everyone, I'm Sumek Agarkar and welcome to Agarkar Media Academy. This is the 23rd tutorial in Blender tutorial series for beginners. So in the last two tutorials, we saw different shaders and different image textures or textures inside of Blender to create awesome textures to our models. So we were in the shading panel in the last tutorial and we saw the textures and different things, all the textures, and we also saw the shaders in the previous video, right? Now in this tutorial what we are going to do is we are going to look at some of the techniques which we can use inside of this shading editor to have to mix two textures at once. So let's start with a simple diffuse shader. Now diffuse shader, as I've already told you, is to give a simple color. We are just going to hook it up to the base color, and now of course not base color because principal BSDF is there. We don't want principal BSDF, we want the BSDF to directly go to the surface. So now it is white. I'm just going to change the color to something like reddish. This is not completely red, this is not completely any other color, but that's it. Okay, whatever. Now we know what diffuse BSDF is. What I want to show you right now is, let's have one more diffuse BSDF, right? And let's have a color of, let's say, blue, right? Now there is no way to have both of these right here, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to mix the two colors in such a way that we can have some control, or maybe we don't want the basic control over it, but we just want some randomly picking up of the colors between the two. So what we are going to do is, here we have the normals, or we are just going to look at it and how it works, right? So we have to add two shaders. We saw we have add shader, right? So we are just going to add shader, or but right here we have no control over it. So what we are going to do is we are going to use some other shader, which is the mix shader. So we are going to mix the two shaders, the red one and the blue one. And if you just hook it up to here sorry, so you can see that both these two colors are being mixed and it's looking some odd color. But right here we have the factor, right? So in the factor we can have some different material right here which will just tell it how to pick up the colors between the red and the blue. So if we just use the texture and we use my favorite texture, which is the noise texture, and just put up the factor to here and give it a minute to load to compile the colors, and this is it. Now this really looks cool. If I just increase the scale like this and I increase the details or just decrease the details to 0, and the distortion is the same as it is, I don't want to work with the distortion, just going to change the color so that we can see what's actually happening. So right now what I did is I have two diffuse BSDF, two basic colors, a red and a green, and I mixed the two colors, and I mixed the two shaders using the mix shader, and in the factor panel I just use the noise texture. Now what it is doing is, the noise texture, we already know how noise texture looks like. If I just put it up right here to the surface, we know this is a noise texture. But if we just hook this up to here and the noise texture to here, what it is actually doing is it is telling the mix shader which one to use. So black is red and white is green. So factor, the noise texture, is basically telling the mix shader how to mix these two BSDFs. Now instead of noise we can use my second most favorite um, texture, which is the Warner texture. I can just use the distancing here and just give it a minute to load, and this is how it looks like now. Now my favorite one is N sphere radius because it gives really awesome blocks. It's okay, it's not working right now, maybe distance to edge. Yeah, this is also really very cool. Of course, the look, right now I just don't want to tell you about the selection of colors. You can select any color you want, but right now I'm just showing you how you can use the mix shader node to mix two different shaders with a texture, right? If you smooth, it will have some different effects. So this is what is possible with mixed shader. So this is what mixed shader is used for. You can have some different um, textures to your object, which these are not the objects which we are downloading from somewhere. These are just objects that we have created by ourselves using this. So if we have, let's say, one more, let's just try one more. Let's try Musgrave, and this is what it will look like, Musgrave texture, right? So this is really really cool, and you can use this techniques to create awesome patterns and awesome stuff, and this is really 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 very cool. So I hope you learned something from this video. That is it for this video, because we have already covered a lot many things. That is it for this video. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do subscribe. Share this video with your friends and family so that they can also learn to create awesome stuffs using Blender animation software. If you have any comments or queries or advice, please comment down in the comment section below. See you in the next tutorial. Till then, keep smiling and keep learning.